It is December 4th, the anniversary of December 4th. You decide which year. The holiday season has finally started, and to celebrate, we're going to remember the incredible highs and lows of 4 Disney Channel sitcom Christmas episodes. Let's take a look at things we remember, things we don't remember, things we wish we remembered, and things we wish we didn't remember.
Oh, Mrs. Claus, I thought I was getting a puppy!
Oh, why? So you can cheat on it with another puppy and a tacky tube top?
Let's crack these episodes open and slither on in. We're gonna start with The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Season 1, Episode 21. Christmas at the Tipton. The Sweet Life was about 2 twins, Zack and Cody, who live at the prestigious Tipton Hotel with their mom, Carrie. In every episode, their chaotic antics would disrupt the hotel and the ensemble of characters who work/live there. Most prominently, the hotel manager, Mr. Mosby.
How do you lose a woman?
You forget to cherish her.
Christmas at the Tipton begins with the hotel's kooky inventor, Arwen, activating a massive light display outside the hotel. Arwen was only in like 1/3 of the episodes, and as a kid, you just knew that every episode with him in it was gonna be good.
First place Arwen Hawkhauser.
That's my sister. It's her trophy. She won it.
She has the same first name as you.
We were a poor family. We could only afford one name.
Arwen proudly exclaims that 999,999 bulbs are in play. However,
Here's a bulb that's not working.
No, Cody, no, that's the one that puts us into... Overload.
from here, the episode actually breaks into 4 concurrent subplots, most of which are about the massive blizzard outside or the hotel struggling to maintain power. In the first subplot, Esteban the bellhop hates the snow. Esteban was a lot like Arwen in the sense that he only popped up occasionally, but that made his appearances way more special.
No one calls Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de Rosa Ramirez a thief.
No one's got the time.
Basically, everyone keeps asking him to go outside throughout the episode, and it just gets more and more ridiculous. You could argue that this is more of a recurring joke than a subplot, but I would say to you, why would you argue with me about a sitcom on Christmas? How could you do this? That way, if I'm not right semantically, then I'm right morally. I win either way, I rigged it. In the second subplot, Mr. Mosby and Arwen struggle to maintain the Tipton's underground furnace, Old Betsy.
Fire up, old Betsy?
Yeah.
Oh, aye, Captain. Kindling. That was lucky.
What I find amusing about sitcoms like this is that they only had a few sets per show. It was very rare for sets to be built if they were only gonna be used one time. So all of this furnace stuff happens entirely off screen. Mosby and Arwen decide what they're gonna do with the furnace, it'll cut to a different subplot, and then it'll cut back to them in the lobby discussing what they just did with the furnace so that we weren't able to see. At first, Mosby tells Arwen to start cutting up old furniture and throw it in the furnace. Again, we don't see it happen. The subplot culminates when Arwen tries to chop up the front desk with a chainsaw and Mr. Mosby has to stop him. Also, Phil Lewis, he is easily the greatest actor of our time.
I'm sorry, but all of our rooms are taken. Although we do have 3 restaurants, and each one of them has 4 stars. Well, that's 12 stars if you eat at all 3.
Besides Zack and Cody, the show's other dynamic duo was the financially struggling bellhop Maddie Fitzpatrick and the spoiled hotel owner's daughter, London Tipton. People love these characters because they flipped traditional stereotypes on their heads. The blonde girl was incredibly sharp and intelligent, while the Asian girl was the dumbest person alive. They have the third subplot. Maddie is handing out names for Secret Santa, but when she approaches London, she swaps the bowl with one that only has her name in it, ensuring that she'll get a gift from her. London wants to get Maddie something meaningful, and Mr. Mosby suggests that she make something by hand to show her affection. This predictably goes awry because London ultimately gives Maddie what was supposed to be a hand-knitted sweater.
A blanket? No, silly, it's a sweater. With 3 arms and no neck hole? I I forgot to put one in. I thought you'd be happy that I put so much effort into it. You're always accusing me of being superficial.
And you had to pick Christmas to become deep?
At the end, though, Maddie sees she was being selfish and apologizes, although she never gets caught for switching the bowls. Zach and Cody, naturally, have the best arc of the episode. The boys exclusively live with Carrie because their parents are divorced. Their father Kurt was only in about 2 episodes per season. The show often used Zach and Cody as a vehicle to explore the struggles and issues that kids with split families have to go through, and this episode is a really good example. The blizzard has snowed Kurt in with the boys during his holiday visit. He and Carrie aren't necessarily on great terms, but they decide to put their arguing aside for the sake of Zach and Cody.
Kurt, it's Christmas. I don't want to spend it bickering with you.
Same here.
And for the boys' sake, can we try to get along?
Works for me.
However, Zach and Cody see the hug, and Cody becomes convinced that their parents are going to get back together.
Did you see that? Mom and Dad still like each other.
What are you talking about? It's just a friendly hug.
Later, Carrie and Kurt fill in for a musician who canceled due to the blizzard, as they're both musicians themselves. Cody's really sure that the song will make them fall in love.
Great! Think they'll ask us to be best men at their second wedding?
Would you stop?
But when Kurt flirts with another woman, the two boys become very, very upset and run away. It's at this point that all of the subplots collide. Zach and Cody enter an elevator with a pregnant woman, but the power goes out and strands the elevator in the shaft, right as the woman goes into labor. Zach and Cody now have to walk her through it.
We're going to need boiling water, towels, twine, and scissors. Let me check the elevator gift shop. Oh, look! There isn't one!
Now you're probably thinking like, oh, the boys deliver the baby, but actually, no. The show was surprisingly grounded in the beginning, especially compared to what the franchise became by the end. Arwen restores power to the elevator, and the rest of the adults help the woman through labor, using Maddie's sweater as a blanket.
Well, Carrie, you must know what to do. You've had a baby.
2.
Even better.
I'm sorry, but I was a little too busy screaming to take notes.
All right, all fixed. Everyone's happy. Okay, not quite everyone.
Zach and Cody sadly reflect that they wish they could have 2 loving parents the way the new baby does. However, Carrie and Kurt assure them that they do.
I know you were hoping your dad and I would get back together. But even if we're not getting remarried, we're
Still a family.
Not like them.
yes, like them. That baby has 2 parents that love her, just like you guys.
I don't know if I ever saw this episode as a kid. I've occasionally gone back and rewatched episodes of the show with my sister, and they usually feel vaguely familiar, but this one didn't. It only aired in December, so it's entirely possible that I missed this one completely. It's always fun to go back and make fun of how dated these shows are, but this was a legitimately well-written, sweet episode that completely held up. Rest assured though, not all of the rest of them are as good as this one. Let's go back in time and visit a girl who can gaze into the future. That's So Raven, Season 1, Episode 19, Escape Clause. In That's So Raven, Raven, real name Raven Simone, plays Raven Baxter.
Yep, that's me.
A teenager and aspiring fashion designer with psychic abilities. Throughout the episodes, she has abrupt visions of future events, often of things going wrong, and then she has to work to prevent those outcomes, usually wearing a costume in the process, accompanied by her friends Chelsea and Eddie. Escape Clause begins with Raven seeing a vision of her Christmas present, a pretty necklace. She decides to skip caroling with her family so that she can stay and open it. At school, Raven and her friends have a run-in with an insane teacher named Mr. Petrocelli.
Miss Peterson, pick up your trash. Mr. Thomas, pick up your pants.
I call him the Mid-Terminator, but never to his face.
This was his second and final appearance, so he wasn't some wacky recurring character, in case you were wondering. Petrocelli announces that he'll be gone tomorrow. Raven is planning on returning her necklace into the present box, but after hijinks ensue, it accidentally gets thrown out the window and run over by a lawnmower. Now, Raven has to miss decorating the gingerbread house in order to formulate a plan to skip school and buy a new necklace from the mall before she's caught.
All right, people. Soldier, timeline.
exit school at 12:05, hit the mall at 12:22, and have exactly 23 minutes to get in, buy the necklace, and get out. Sir! Eddie, transportation report.
We walk into the mall.
There's a really funny sequence where they have to sneak out of school after class starts, and rather than recapping it, I'm gonna just play as much of it as I can.
Oh, that's a nice band, Chelsea.
Thanks, I just got it.
What other colors did it have?
I don't know, I think it's...
Can we not do this now?
Just want to let y'all know, there's no one here.
They get to the mall and successfully rebuy the necklace. Raven decides that the three of them should take a photo with Santa. There's only one issue. The mall Santa is Mr. Petrocelli. Santa proceeds to completely abandon his post and chase them throughout the mall in, again, a really funny sequence that I don't remember these shows having. Meanwhile, there's a little B-plot where Raven's family is preparing for a photo shoot with Santa. Raven's little brother Corey doesn't want to wear his Christmas sweater for a photo, and he keeps going to each of his parents and having them bribe him to wear the costume. This was young Corey, before he was in the house. This was also young Kyle Massey, before he was in the house. Raven escapes from Santa, and back at home, she thinks the situation's under control, but that's when she has a vision of the photos she took with the mall Santa still hanging above Santa, meaning her parents would find out about it once they go to the mall.
Chelsea, Eddie, it's Raven. You know that picture we took at the mall with Santa?
Oh yeah, I wonder how that turned out.
Oh, girl, it turned out fine because I just saw it in the hands of Petrocelli!
At the mall, Raven decides to dress up as Santa in order to grab the photo frame. She's just about to get out of there when she runs into Mr. Petrocelli as Santa.
Are you some kind of imposter?
That's a bit sussy.
But there's a twist.
Oh, being psychic can throw you sometimes, huh?
Mr. Petrocelli, how did you know I was psychic?
Because I'm not Mr. Petrocelli. That's Mr. Petrocelli.
That's right, guys. Santa Claus himself came back to help Raven out. He sends her back in time to make the right choice, and he teaches her a nice lesson in the process.
I ruined everybody's Christmas.
How? They don't know what you did.
Yes, but because I had to open my present early, I didn't go caroling with my parents. Which I love, and I didn't get to, make the gingerbread house with my dad, which I've been doing since I was little. And I didn't ruin anybody's Christmas but my own.
That's So Raven was a little bit before my time, but I remember my older sister watching this one a lot. I just have vague memories and glimpses and flashes of various episodes. Like, I remember there's one with like a giant piece of pizza. Remember the one where she's like crawling in the vents with the stinky cheese and she has to eat it? Like that's my most that's my most repressed and traumatic memory ever. Remember the one with the Venus flytrap? Wizards of Waverly Place season? No, just kidding. This show actually didn't have a Christmas episode, but I found an interview where the showrunners talked about an episode they pitched where Santa is revealed to actually be a wizard with a traumatic and dark history. But Disney said no, and so the show just never had a Christmas episode. I just thought that was funny. Lab Rats, Season 2, Episode 24, 'Twas the Mission Before Christmas. In Lab Rats, Leo Dooley and his mother Tasha have moved in with his new stepdad and her new husband, millionaire inventor Donald Davenport. In the basement, however, are 3 bionic teenagers named Adam, Bree, and Chase, who go on missions to save the world. However, the show doesn't have the budget to depict saving the world, and so the world saving usually looks like this.
The world's first bionic superhumans. They're stronger than us, faster, smarter. The next generation of the human race is
Living in my basement?
What I've noticed is that as we've gone forward in time, Disney has been shoving more and more laugh tracks into every conceivable orifice of the edit. That Zack and Cody episode had like maybe one moment of canned laughter per minute. Lab Rats has one like every 10 seconds.
Who wants a Christmas cookie? Careful, they may be hot.
We don't need to shine a light on it.
No, I did that. I want to make sure Santa Claus comes to our house first.
Spot on.
Hey, get back up on the roof. You're ruining my display. You were lucky a raccoon chewed me free.
So Adam, Bree, and Chase had literally never left the basement up until the show's pilot episode. They never celebrated Christmas or any holiday because Mr. Davenport failed to mention that they existed.
Yeah, I never celebrated their birthdays.
Did you also eat all the cookies before Santa came down the chimney?
What's Santa?
So now, Twas the Mission Before Christmas is their first ever Christmas, and they're waiting for Santa to arrive, until they get an urgent mission alert. One of Davenport's North Pole research facilities is experiencing aftershocks because of a major earthquake, and the rats have to dispatch to contain the damage. Also, this episode like mixes Jingle Bells into the scene transitions, and it slaps. In this advanced, high-tech laboratory, they meet Dr. Evans, who has a hologram wife and uses a Viking helmet to receive radio signals. All of the show's one-time characters were like this. Every episode of the show was like this. This lab, this specific room, triggered the weirdest repressed memories. Like, I don't remember anything that really happened in this episode, but I remember this room really vividly. After another aftershock, the glass container around a highly unstable gamma sphere cracks, and the group has to find a means of containing it. Chase uses an After Effects plugin to temporarily surround it, but it's not gonna hold, and they have to think of a solution. Meanwhile, Principal Perry's car breaks down, and she invites herself to stay at the Davenports until the tow truck arrives. But that won't be until tomorrow, and her presence becomes an incredible, massive inconvenience to Leo, Tasha, and Davenport.
I brought my cats! You won't even know that Scratch, Thumper, Boom Boom, Mr. Whiskers, Dingle, and Widget are even here! Come on, Dingle! Come on, boy! Oh, he's usually very, very good. Yeah! Want to see me belly dance Frosty the Snowman? No! No!
Back at the site, Chase is stumped for a solution. The show constantly states that Chase is the smartest man alive, but he is legitimately the most stupid one. Not once in the series does he display anything more than above average intelligence of like a high school senior.
You do realize I'm the smartest person on the planet.
And every time you have to say it, it diminishes it just a little bit.
The group decides to implode the whole facility, hoping that the lead within the structure will be able to contain the gamma sphere. Lab Rats is the only Disney show that's like 60% exposition. Characters, usually Chase, will explain absolutely everything, including things that are very obvious and really didn't need exposition, as even the youngest child could probably figure out what's going on via context clues. Back in Escape Clause from That's So Raven, the show never explicitly stated that this was Santa Claus. It made it pretty obvious, but Raven didn't explain to the child audience, this right here is Santa Claus. It just trusts the kids to pick it up on their own. If Adam, Chase, and Bree had been here instead of Raven, the conversation would have been like, this guy looks like Santa Claus. No, Adam, isn't it obvious? This is Santa Claus, and he is giving us the opportunity to make the morally correct decision and rewrite history. Awesome. I'm gonna give myself lobsters for hands. Then Bree would have silently just facepalmed. She wouldn't have a line. In fact, why didn't they just make this guy Santa Claus? They're already in the North Pole. It would have been so easy. Then we're treated to another classic epic Lab Rats action sequence. After returning from the mission, the group decides to kick Principal Perry out of the house once and for all. But when they come upstairs, she has cooked an incredible meal for them, and they decide to let her stay. Then she gives Davenport a check and reveals that she cut off part of her fingers when cutting the vegetables, and it's somewhere in the food. Disney XD moment, am I right?
All right!
I love this one because there's no moral or lesson here. Every other episode has shoved a lesson in the audience's face. This one literally just makes fun of the notion of holiday specials having sweet messages. Lab Rats was an iconic show, and that's that. End of discussion. But also, beginning of discussion, because I'll have a lot more to say about this show soon. Been rewatching every episode and losing my mind. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the Lab Rats retrospective, coming soon or something. And now, it's time for the grand finale. Hannah Montana, Season 4, Episode 5, is the end of the Jake as we know it. In Hannah Montana, Miley Stewart has to hide from the world that she is secretly the famous pop star, Hannah Montana. But you all know that. Let me catch you up on the relevant Hannah Montana lore before we cover what happens in this episode. Jake. Jake was Hannah Montana's main love interest, but like he was an F-boy, and Hannah Montana's dad and her friends, they never really liked him, okay? But Hannah Montana really did like him. He was never good for her. However, during the unforgettable two-parter, Icky Jakey Heart from Season 2, Miley, or Hannah or whatever, she realizes that she really does love him as she reveals her identity as Hannah Montana to him.
I'm Hannah Montana.
In Season 3's He Could Be the One, though, she starts to develop feelings for a different boy named Jesse. And yeah, this is Griffith from iCarly. Same actor, basically same character. Hannah has to decide which boy she loves, and that is when, in an epic, dramatic, emotional, and all-around unforgettable scene, a photograph floats into her lap, and she knows what decision she has to make. So it's a picture of Jesse, right? But then she chooses Jake. Rian Johnson wishes he could subvert expectations like this. It's possible, if not likely, that the Season 3 Hannah Montana episode He Could Be the One is what inspired Rian Johnson to become a storyteller. So anyways, she's dating Jake. That's the last we see of Jake until now. At the end of Season 3, series mainstay Oliver actually left the main cast because his actor Mitchell Musso was starting work on a different Disney show called Pair of Kings. His career went great for him after that. So he's not in the main cast anymore. Also, the Stewart family moved away from their iconic beach house to a way less iconic ranch house at the end of Season 3, because Disney sitcoms have a random habit of changing locations for their 4th season.
The next generation of the human race is
living on a bionic island.
Okay, so we're all caught up. Let's start talking about Season 4, Episode 5, everybody. Miley is rehearsing for an upcoming Christmas special with special musical guest star Sheryl Crow. I don't know who this is. I only know her as the guest star from this episode. Miley is being an all-around terrible person, per the status quo.
Wow, Cheryl, that was awesome.
Oh, thanks a lot. You're so sweet.
And how was I?
Miley's friend Lily is extremely worked up because Oliver is coming back to visit.
Are they even?
Sure, they look great.
Liar!
I guess they were dating at this point in the show? I don't remember that, but okay.
Hey, Mr. Stewart, how you doing?
Stop it, son. We both know you don't care.
Old Town Road Guy was by far the best part of this show. Oliver comes with bad news. A drummer in his band snuck a photo of Jake cheating on Miley with another girl. I remember this. I remember watching this episode when it aired. This specific scene is one of my primary memories of Hannah Montana. I was shocked, I felt betrayed by Jake. So throughout the episode, Lily and Oliver are just struggling to figure out how to tell Miley, who obliviously invites Jake over because she misses him. In the B plot, Miley's teenage brother Jackson really misses his model girlfriend, who I don't remember him having. Every kid had that crazy moment when they got a little bit older and realized that the actor for Jackson was actually like 30. But looking back, oh my god, it's so obvious he's not a teenager. Jackson needs $2,000 to fly and see her. Meanwhile, this kid, Rico, he's trying to buy beachfront real estate, but just isn't being taken seriously because he is a child. Jackson then offers to pretend to be Rico's dad in exchange for $2,000. Rico is hesitant, but then...
Hey, if it doesn't work out, I'll set you up with one of Sienna's bikini model friends. Poppy!
He was 16, oh no. Okay, so then Jackson dresses up as Colonel Sanders?
So direct, I love it. Look, I've got a goosebump right here. Go ahead and feel. You know you want to.
And then this dude, he recognizes that he's lying, but he gives Rico the real estate anyways, and that's the end of the subplot. Did Jackson get the $2,000? Did Rico get a bikini model? I don't know. We never hear from them again. This was the weirdest subplot I've ever seen. Anyways, now Miley is filming the actual Christmas show. Jake is acting in it, but the truth about Jake leaks to Miley.
Who's Jake? And why is he a cheater?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
You said Jake was a cheater. Did he cheat on a test?
This is while she's filming as Mrs. Claus. She proceeds to passive-aggressively attack Jake.
No, I'm Mrs. Claus. Santa is busy finishing up all the toys for the good girls and boys. And I'm here to make sure all the bad kids get nothing.
And then physically attack Jake.
Yes, I have.
Liar!
All year long!
All while the cameras are rolling.
We have little elves that go to the clubs and take pictures with their cell phones.
I'm sorry, I messed up. But it was only one puppy. There were lots of other puppies that I never even looked at.
Oh. Well, Santa does believe in forgiveness. But Santa's not here! He's still treated!
Nothing says Christmas like Miley Cyrus physically assaulting a man in a pile of fake snow while dressed as Mrs. Claus. This is a fantastic Christmas episode because it has absolutely nothing to do with Christmas whatsoever. No Christmas themes, no Christmas messages, it's just Miley Cyrus beating up Jake. It's by far the worst one we've watched today, but it's my personal favorite. Also, for those of you who are worried about Miley being lonely, rest assured, Jessie comes back in the very next episode and is her love interest for the rest of the series. Because the main message of Hannah Montana was that little girls can't be happy unless they have a boyfriend. That's gonna be it, everyone. I actually watched several Disney Christmas episodes to prepare for this.
Oh, Teddy?
And if there's still life on the planet by December 2022, maybe I'll cover more. For now, be sure to like the subscribe button, subscribe to the like button, follow me on social media for tweets and posts that mean absolutely nothing. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention about the Hannah Montana episode is that it ends really abruptly. And that's a big pet peeve of mine. I hate when shows and videos end